This episode is brought to you by Communications Training for Coffee Teams, a new Map It Forward workshop tailored to get your team communicating more confidently to improve general mental health as well as business profitability. Click the link in the show notes for further details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and welcome to another new series. In this series, we're going to be talking about something we've never talked about before with a favorite guest on the podcast, Diego Baraona. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Lee. It's awesome to be back. Third year in a row.
Third year in a row. It's going to become a tradition. It must happen.
It has to happen. Yeah.
So, Diego, we in this episode are going to talk about something that is new to Los Pirineos, the farm that you own, that you are working very, very hard to continue the legacy on from the previous generations that have owned it. Why don't you introduce what this series is about?
Yeah, I'm really excited to announce that we're going to be having our first private auction at Los Pirineos. So we're going to be talking about the idea of doing a private auction, its benefits, pros as well, and how the idea developed, and I think the benefits that you can bring to Origin as well, and many others as well.
Super exciting. And we're going to kind of in this episode and the 4 episodes that come after it, we're going to kind of break down the process that you went through to make that happen. And in this particular episode, we're going to talk about how the idea came about for you to make that happen. So how did the idea come about for you to create the first private auction for Los Pirineos?
So I will say there are 2 catalysts that made this happen. One, I was always talking about doing this, but he had so much things going on that he was never able to do it on so he was always cooking his mind, and he sometimes in the past years he talked to me about it. So I was always been here in my mind since I first took over the farm 3 years ago now. Then last year I went to the Boston SCA with the goal of doing networking, either for new buyers, brand awareness, and I found this company called En Cultivo, and we talked with this guy. He's Pablo Vasquez, and he's one of the team members of En Cultivo, and he's based in Guatemala. And he talked to me about a platform, about integrating this software into the farm, about like the inventory and all this cool tech stuff for farming. And then he mentioned that they were also running private auctions. So I was like, it was very, very
the stars aligned.
Yeah. So we bond a lot. I really like him as a person, as a professional as well. And we started cooking the idea of it. At first, honestly, I was like against it. I was like, I don't think I'm ready for this. Is it the time? But then I realized you never know when it's the right time, So I was like, I think I should do it this year because nobody's doing it here in El Salvador. So I want to be one of the first to do this here in the country and be a disruptor, of the.
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Yeah.
I'm completely unfamiliar with the concept.
I don't know about that.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So he really pushed me to do it, and he pitched me the idea of it, the whole processing. And I was like, okay. I think I decided this end of December of last year. I was like, okay, let's do it.
So for the small business owners that are listening to this and the other coffee producers that are listening to this, can we dig a little deeper into your mindset around making a decision like this?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I want to ask is that moment where you're trying to make the decision of should I do this or shouldn't I do this, when I know that I don't know all the information. I don't know. Success is not guaranteed here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? You're a marathon runner. You're an athlete. You have the tools to create a mindset that is focused on the long game rather than the short game. Give some people some insight into how that decision-making process happens for you, if you don't mind.
Okay, ready? I'm going to do a sports metaphor and analogy. Oh my God. Yeah. There are 2 things that helped me a lot in the past 3 years to lose fear, right? Because this involves a lot of risk and fear, right? But there's always if you don't take risks in life and you push yourself and take yourself out of the comfort zone, for example, for me, this project, the auction for the first time, you just stay stable and you don't move on. So I feel like once you lose that fear of failing, you become invincible. I feel like unstoppable. Even when with marathons and triathlons, Ironmans, all that, there's always a risk of failing miserably. But if you don't take those steps forward, you don't progress as a person, as a professional, as a business, anything. So you gotta take those steps, even though it's scary. It can be stressful as well. It's something new and scary as well. But if you don't take those steps forward, change doesn't happen. Progress doesn't happen.
Do you always expect to be successful?
No.
Okay.
No.
And folks, that's a real big lesson for all of you out there that are like focused on toxic positivity and dessert for dinner. Dago and I have loads of conversations around this shit, and it's why we're such good friends, because we're very aligned when it comes to managing expectations, taking risks, doing the work. And it's a really, I think as we come towards like economic tsunamis that we keep talking about, I think we're going to start to see people bear the brunt of toxic positivity with regards to the decisions they've made. Do you agree?
Yeah, like when I first started doing this coffee production project when my dad left 3 years ago, I mean, I had everything against me. Like there was nothing in favor of me. It was everything against me. And I was so scared. I mean, I was like, I'm gonna fail for sure. Like I think I was more confident I was gonna fail than I was gonna succeed.
Right.
But the fact that I overcame every tsunami that came to me every single week, that proved to me like, hey, I mean, I'm really capable of overcoming challenges, making things happen, making things work. I have an amazing team behind me as well. So like, why not go for the private auction?
So when you come to make a decision like that, you don't make that decision saying, success is guaranteed. I'm going to crush it. My team's going to crush it. You at this moment announcing that you're going to do this auction, you really genuinely don't know how this is going to go.
For sure. And I have a funny story. Even when I was about to post the reel on Instagram, you have no idea how much I hesitated to.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, this is scary. It's scary. I hesitated so much.
Wow.
I mean, it was at the same time, it was exciting. It was exciting, but I was a big ball of
nerves.
Nerves, yeah.
So tell me what the fear is.
Now that I think about it, fear is one. Okay, I know I have the coffees for sure. That's there.
Oh my God, your coffees are some of the best in the world. Easily.
Yeah, that's a pro. I know. I mean, I'm also do it because I know I have the coffees there with me. But the fear before and during accepting this product is like, are people gonna buy the coffee? Are people gonna buy the sample sets? Are people gonna receive this in a positive way? How are people gonna? Are people gonna participate in the auction?
Right.
Is it gonna be one person, two persons?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then balancing that out, because I know you're a guy who's big on balance. So on the other side of that fear, what's the thing that's driving you to say, yes, this is worth doing? Where's the confidence coming from?
One is my team is really excited about this. Very, very excited. Yeah. I mean, and going a bit back in your question, decisions that I take, I don't take them by myself also. I like to talk with my team around me and pitch the idea. I feel like that's really positive because it brings perspective, it brings good ideas, bad ideas, but it really creates this like nice work culture and environment that everybody's pitching in. And my entire team was really, really happy with it. They're really pumped, and we're getting very creative with it. So there's this really creative aspect to it now as well. So that's really exciting to see my team.
Is there like a place where people can go and find out? Because we'll mention it in every episode of this series. Is there a link that people can go and order samples from, or where is it?
Yeah, so at the moment I'm still preparing the samples, but soon I'm going to be publishing on Instagram links to how to get sample sets and any other info. For sure, I'm going to be in Portland, actually. We're going to have a copy in Portland, in SC. Okay. And we're gonna have a coffee also in Athens in June. World Coffee.
Fantastic.
So that's
Perfect.
going to be more info about the companies going on.
Great. And we'll have notes, we'll have links in the show notes, folks. So make sure that you check out the links so that we can send you there. So in the next episode, we're going to be talking about the actual platform and developing it and what that process was like. Perfect. See you in the next episode, folks. Peace, love, and peanut butter. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.